Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to the channel. It's Swervo Hoops, and I'm coming back at y'all with another rankings video. This time, we about to be doing the top 10 power forwards in the league this season so far. So sit back, enjoy, and relax. And remember, this is only my opinion. If you guys got differing opinions, leave them in the comments section down below. And also, don't forget, if you like the video, you feel me? Support a nigga, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, take it easy and enjoy the video, man. Let's get it started. All right, for the honorable mentions, we going to get it started with Jeremy Grant. He came very close to making the 10th or 9th spot in this list, but unfortunately, I had players ahead of him who are just better in certain areas of the game, in my opinion. But you could convince me on a good day that this guy is definitely capable of making the top 10. Having a breakout season this year. Damn near should have made the All-Star team. Jeremy Grant is in the first one for honorable mention. As for the other honorable mentions, we got Jaren Jackson Jr., Royce O'Neal, Thaddeus Young, Miles Bridges, Chris Boucher, and also Aaron Gordon. As I said in my last video, any of these guys are capable of making the top 10, but I just have guys ahead of them who are just better at certain assets of the game. But in my humble opinion, the only one that I really think could have been a reasonable argument would have been Jeremy Grant, but that's for y'all to decide. But with that being said, let's get into the video and who's in this top 10, all right? Let's get it started. So at number 10, we got John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Oh, man, this train is fucking bugging, yo. This is what happens when you live in New York City. All right, now that that's situated, Atlanta finished with the 5th seed in the East, and although a big part of that did have to do with the hiring of Nate McMillan, he's definitely played a huge role in the success of Atlanta since he got hired. I do feel like John Collins has played a pivotal role in that. Last year, he shot 40% from 3 on about 3 attempts a game, and this year he's doing about the same, so even though the volume isn't that high, it's still pretty good that he can stretch the floor that well and also play well in pick and roll situations. He's a pretty good offensive threat for this Atlanta team when Trey doesn't have it going, and he's just another scoring option to this great offensive team, so he definitely got that 10th spot for me. At the 9th spot, we got Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. Now, although the stats may not show it, I truly do feel like this man is definitely the 9th or 8th best power forward in the league. His impact on winning is honestly undeniable. And like I said, even though the stats may not show it, he definitely has a huge impact on this Warriors team. He's not their best offensive scorer, of course, but on offense, he is a huge contributor, being their best playmaker. Not only that, he's the best defender for their team. As you can see, he became one of the Defensive Player of the Year finalists this season. Not only is Draymond one of the few players in the NBA that possibly could even average a triple-double for the entire season, I'd go as far as to say that if Draymond was able to shoot league average from three-point line this season for the Warriors, he probably wouldn't even made them contenders. And I know there's a lot of possibilities in those sentences, but that's just how much of an impact I feel like Draymond has on this team. Is really just offensively, he wasn't able to space the floor for them efficiently like that this year. And as a result, it led to a lot of trapping and just a lot of collapsing defenses on Curry. But if he was able to just open the floor for them with a solid three-point shot and keep the defense honest, yeah, that would have made a drastic difference in how their season ended this year. Number 8 spot, we got Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. This year, he finished the season averaging 21, 7, and 4. On okay efficiency, he did have his inconsistencies throughout the season this year. Toronto was looking to use him more as a number 1 option, and I guess the world assumed he would be a number 1 option after Kawhi had left. But to be honest, his game definitely does seem more suited to be a second option. Even I myself thought that he would develop into a superstar caliber player, bringing Toronto to at least the playoffs this year. But that just was not the case. His three-point percentage has fell off a little bit, and he attempted less than he did last season. But I can say that he has improved in strides as a playmaker, and he's still a good defender and good scorer, gets to the line at a decent rate. And we can't forget that although his numbers isn't as good as last year, he still is putting up all-star numbers this season. And Toronto did have a legitimate chance of making the play-in tournament at some point this season. So, yeah, I'm going to give him that A spot then, you feel me? Coming in at the number 7 spot, we got Kristaps Porzingis. And while we're on the topic of talking about guys whose games are suited to be more of a secondary option, I do feel like Porzingis fits that criteria just as well as Siakam does. And he's a better shooter. Let's call it what it is, you feel me? Now, the only thing about Porzingis, which we all know about, which holds him back, is his injuries. But this is a top 10 list, so we're not really going to talk about what his injuries can or can't do to him in his future. What we're going to talk about is how good he is and how he impacts this Dallas team. As crucial as he was for that Clippers series, of course, last season, he's going to be just as crucial for them this season against them. And his ability to really stretch the floor and be able to protect the paint at times and just be able to be a mobile big man on offense and defense at times for Dallas, does it really get better than the modern big men than Porzingis? Like, he's even shown an ability to go off the dribble, pull from the hash. Like, this guy is a threat on offense. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, he definitely got that 6th spot for me. I just hope he can remain healthy. And at the number 6 spot, we got Tobias Harris of the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've kind of flip-flopped on whether I should make him 7th or 6th on this list between him and Porzingis. But I feel like his impact on Philly this year, even with Ben Simmons and Embiid out of the lineup, and him stepping up as even the primary or secondary scoring option on this team, helping them maintain the number 1 seed in the East. During the regular season, he averaged about 20 points, 7 rebounds on almost 50, 40, 90 splits. And he's even had moments of being a pretty solid defender for this Philadelphia team. So with that being said, I think he's definitely deserving of a number 6 spot on this list. At the number 5 spot, we got Domantas Sabonis of the Indiana Pacers. Now, Sabonis had himself an all-star season this year, averaging 20 points, 12 boards, along with 6 assists. And I feel as if, other than Jokic, he's probably the second best passing big man in the league. Especially when it came to the second half of the season and especially in the play-in, this man was just finishing games casually with triple doubles, and it really wasn't being spoken about enough because he plays for Indiana. It's a small market team, but this guy is really a threat, man. He's not the greatest defensive big man in the league, but Indiana does hold its own as one of the good defensive teams in the league, probably top 15. I don't want to give y'all a solid number on that because I'm not sure, but I know they did finish 7th in offense, and he's a huge reason for that. His drive and kick game is amazing. His post-up game is amazing. He could shoot the 3 ball, although he doesn't shoot it enough, and he's just a great offensive big man for them. So Sabonis got that number 5 spot. At the number 4 spot, we got Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. Now, despite the disappointing exit the Knicks had in the playoffs this year, we cannot deny the fact that Julius Randle had himself a hell of a regular season. He won himself the Most Improved Player of the Year award, and well-deserved, even though I low-key think it should have went to Jeremy Grant, but we ain't going to talk about that. But anyways, though, Julius Randle got it, and I'm not going to shit on him for it. He developed into a primary scoring option on a team that didn't have many good scorers on it. And not only that, he brought them to a 4th seed in the East, developing his game also into where he became a solid passer and a good 3-point shooter. Whereas last season, he shot 27% from 3 on 3 attempts a game, to bumping it up this year where he was taking about 5 threes a game on 41% from the deep ball. He was taking defenders off the dribble, bringing up the ball, hitting them with step back 3s. This man was out here trying to play every position on the court for the Knicks. So it's damn, Randle really just transformed his game to really become a almost superstar level player this year. And like I said, although they had a disappointing ending to their season in the playoffs, and he was definitely a shitball in that series, cannot take away from the fact that he definitely had a very great season this year for the New York Knicks. And he got that 4th spot, man. Coming in at number 3, we got... oh my God. God. Oh man. Anyways, we got Zion Williamson, you feel me, of the New York, oh shit, New Orleans Pelicans, man. Now, my fault, yeah, I was still stuck on that whole Julius Randle thing I was just talking about. Anyways, yes, this is the guy that I was contemplating between putting him or Julius Randle at either the third or fourth spot. Yes, although the Pelicans didn't even make the play-in this year, and regardless of whether he fractured or his finger or whatever the fuck, I don't think they were gonna make it over San Antonio regardless. But if you had told me that before the season started, I would not have assumed that. But anyways, in other words, yeah, Zion's a bucket. He's not a great shooter. He's not even a decent shooter at all. He's very hesitant to shoot from, anywhere outside the paint. But shit, they can't stop him from getting to the paint regardless, so it don't even really matter, you feel me? But in other words, too, he's not the greatest defender. But we'll see in time if he also, like, with experience just becomes a better defender. Because, of course, he has the body to do it in a sense, kind of. But his lateral movement and his defensive IQ is just not there like that yet. I'm not going to sit up here and act like the guy is just a bulldozer to the basket and he's a one-trick pony or anything like that. If you watch some games of him this season, you will see that he has made some improvements with his ball handling, his ability to create for others. And even though, like I said, he is unstoppable getting to the basket, the reason he is so unstoppable getting to the basket is because he creates crafty ass move around the rim to really finish around the basket. Like when this man jumps with his defender in the air to finish around the basket, it feels like he's up there for like a second or two longer, and he just creates just some fancy layup to really, and it goes in. Like the man is averaging 27 points a game on 61% from the field, and even a higher percentage at the basket. So I mean, although like I said, I did contemplate whether putting him at the third or fourth spot on this list because of Julius Randle and the season he had. I think he is a better player than Randle, but I do feel like Randle is the better passer and maybe a little bit better of an overall player. I don't know. Y'all can discuss that in the comments. At number 2, we got Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Anthony Davis, I got a love-hate relationship with this guy, man. Like, I love him because I know how great he is, man. We know how great of a two-way player he is. Of course, his face-up game, his post-up game, the ability to shoot from the three, the midi, the inside, even though people call him a bit soft, you feel me? But the hate just stems from his lack of physicality, for one. And two, no, let me say what number one really is. It's really the injuries, but you know what? Like I said with Porzingis, bro, I ain't even going to get on this man for that, but I'm coming off of last night where, like, these dudes really just got packed up in the first round, and, like, it really, you know what I'm saying? Like, AD, the fact, man, I'm like, all right, we going to just move off that injury topic. But AD got that number 2 spot. I don't really think I got much to say when it comes to this number 1 and number 2 guys, because I think it's pretty obvious. These guys are both really, really great players, and I feel like in his New Orleans days, AD was probably like an MVP candidate level player while healthy. So, yeah. And last but obviously not least, at the number 1 spot, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is another one of those guys, man, we just don't got to say too much about. We know his strengths, we know his weaknesses, his very obvious weaknesses, although he definitely worked on his playmaking this year, you feel me? Like, he became a little bit smarter of a passer. The IQ got a little better there. It's still something he can work on a little bit. Let's see if next year he gets to around like 7 assists or something like that. Maybe that's a little too high of a task, you feel me? But yeah, man, I mean, Giannis is a dominant force of the NBA right now. We know what he does inside the paint. We know what he can do offensively and defensively for his teams. He's still the reigning MVP until Jokic claims that title. And he just swept Miami this year. And he didn't have a great series or anything, but shit, I mean, he wasn't terrible, if we could say that, you feel me? If you would have asked me this question last year, who was the best power forward in the league, I would have definitely probably said Anthony Davis. But obviously we're not talking about last season, we're talking about this season. So yeah, Giannis definitely got that title. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave a like on it if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you new, you feel me? Helps a nigga out. And I'ma holla at you on the next video, man. Stay tuned.